this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about first line, second line, and third line support in your client applications. Okay, I have to point this out before the video starts that it's a really windy day. I thought I would drive up here to the countryside and film this video outside because it's beautiful outside. It's a sunny day, although it is very, very windy. And so you may notice during this video that there's a hair that comes into the camera lens from time to time, which is from the microphone, which keeps the wind out of the microphone. I just wanted to let you guys know that I saw it. I filmed the whole thing. I got back to the car and I thought, should I just chuck it all out? And I thought, no, I'll just explain it to you. So sorry about that. I know I'm going to try to do better next time. But if you do like the video and if it bothers you a lot, hit the thumbs down. Dude, I'll live. Right? But if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, we'd love to have you as part of the channel. And that's it. I hope you guys liked the video. Okay, so today I am coming to you from the Ridgeway, which is an old Roman road which runs through England on this beautiful, although very windy, autumn day. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about support, specifically supporting client projects. And I've talked a little bit about this before, but it's a very important topic because next to scope creep, in my opinion, support is a thing that could ruin a client project. And I mentioned this before, when you do work for a client, and for those guys, you may never work for a client, maybe your apps are doing really well, but some of you guys, you're software developers, you're waiting for your apps to take off, or you need to make a little bit of money to live while you're doing your own application, and you're doing a bit of client work. Support is something you need to think about. And specifically, when you release an app to a client, when they've signed off on it, when everything is good, you need to specify at the beginning of the project, before you even agree to it, how long you plan to support that project and what operating system it's actually going to be on. So are you going to support it for a month? Are you going to support it for a year? Are you going to charge to support it? Are you going to support it for the rest of your life? Right? Sometimes, depending on the client, if it's a corporate client, a lot of times they know that you're not going to support it forever, but sometimes the assumption is just kind of there. You know, you've had an app that you haven't heard from the client in 2 years, and they come back 2 years later saying, oh, we've got a problem on this application, fix it. And you're like, well, that was a 30-day warranty period and expired 2 years and 11 months ago. So yeah, definitely I'll have a look at it, but we need to charge for a support fee or whatever like that. Or do you have like an ongoing support service contract? But other than that, other than the support, how long you're going to support it, one thing to also make very, very clear is the level of support that you're going to provide. Now, once early on, I had a client come to me after the app was released, after we tested it. I tested it on my devices, they tested it on their devices, all their friends tested it on their devices, right? It went through automated testing. It was tested, right? It was good, right? It was signed off. And then I get a call about a month later saying, I got a guy who says it's not working on Android. And I go, okay, well, we know that it's working on Android, so what specifically is happening? He goes, I don't know, it's just, he says it's not working. Here's his phone number, can you give him a call and just find out? And I was like, no, that is not my job. And this is where we get to the different levels of support. If you've never worked in a software house or a corporate environment, you may not know these exist, but you have first level support, second level support, and third level support. And you, as a software developer, always want to be third level support. So let's go through the levels of support really quickly. First level support is the person who answers the first email or phone call. So they're the person who finds out what actually is the problem. Sometimes first level support can solve it. Maybe they forgot their password, maybe they didn't know how to download it, maybe they're using the wrong application, or maybe it's something that they've answered again and again, a known issue, and they're able to just solve it right then and there. First level support, while it's often seen as a low-level skill is actually a very high-level skill. First-level support is very good with people skills, right? They're the ones who say, you call up first-level support and say, oh, my app isn't working, my software is not working, and they say, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me find out what the details are. Can you walk me through how to use it? They find out, what the issue is, what operating system they are, steps to reproduce it, what's going on. They try to see if they can solve it themselves, and if they can't, they put it on to second level support. Now, I have seen, one of the things you don't want is a software developer being first level support. Some of them are pretty good at it, but I personally have seen a software developer take a support call, and they were very defensive. I could remember it very vividly working in this office, this small little company. I was there as a contractor, and somebody called up, and they were talking to the head of IT, who was like the main developer, and he was kind of a jerk, to be honest with you. He's very full of himself. And I just hear him on the phone say, well, we tested that, so we know that that's not the problem. So what is it you're doing what is it you're doing wrong? This is like an end user says, what are you doing wrong? And they immediately made the user wrong. The user got defensive. It just got messy early. So first level support, you definitely want somebody with good people skills. Second level support have a little bit more technical skills than first level support, and they can handle a lot more issues. A lot of times if you have something that's a known bug, they might have a list of an FAQ, a list of things to go through, or even just simple problem solving. They can go through and do it, right? They can say, okay, let's check the disk space, let's check the network connection, let's check whatever, but they're technical. They're not the developers of the project, but they're technical. Most of the time, second level support can get the issue solved. Or if it's a bug in the application, they're the ones who are going to be able to pinpoint it and point it out to you as third level support. And that brings it to us, the software developers. Third level support, third line support. Now, if you're a junior developer and you're working on a big team, a lot of the times, they will put you on first line support. I've done a lot of projects on first line support when I was first getting started, and it kind of sucks, but at least you could hand it up to somebody else to get to the nitty gritty of it. Just basically taking down notes and everything. But by the time it gets to you as third line support, most of the time, if first line and second line have done their jobs, what you get is an actual bug. When something comes to me, and this is a thing, like I said, when you're doing a client project, you need to specify this. When somebody brings you an issue or a bug, ideally you need to know the steps to reproduce that bug, right? If they can't reproduce it and you can't reproduce it, then how are you going to solve it? But if you can't, and sometimes you can't, sometimes it's so random, you need other bit of information like what is the operating system, what is the platform? So I need to know if it's Android, what version of Android is it, what type of phone is it, how much disk space, what is the login of the user, if it's something that has a login backend, so I can test everything out, and can I get permission from the user, if necessary, to log in as them and look at their account, right? That's the only way as third line support you're going to be able to solve these kind of things. Otherwise, you're doing everything yourself. It should be up to you to go find out what the problem is, talk to the user, find out that actually they're not even using the right application, they don't even have a login, they're confusing it with something else, they called your client for something else unrelated, and the person who answered the phone thought it must be app related, and then you end up talking to the end user. All of these things have happened to me before. So I have this analogy when I try to explain first line support, second line support, and third line support to my clients, which is of the police. Or at least what I see on cop shows, right? First line support is the beat cop. They're the ones who go and take the statement. They find out all the details. They get everything right. They take pictures of the crime scene. They find out what's going on. And then you have second line support, which are the detectives. They're going through, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to look through how things are going, right? They've been through all this kind of stuff before. They know, they have really good problem solving skills. They're able to look at all the evidence and try to come up with a conclusion. And third line support, I guess we're like CSI, right? We're the ones who we know that we actually can see the data. We can actually look at it and find out exactly what's going on, as long as we have the data presented to us in the right way. So that's the whole thing. When you're doing third line support, you're not the guy who calls up and just find out what's going on. So that's really important when you're agreeing to a project first, straight out. You need to find out, what's going on. What level of support are you going to provide? And you need to make sure that your client knows, unless you actually agree that it is your job to do first line support, if you have that kind of arrangement with them, the client needs to know that your job, you're the software developer and not the problem solver, right? You're the one who goes through, if there's a known issue, you tell them what that known issue is. Okay, you go back to them and say, okay, there is a bug in this certain operating system on this certain version, on this certain type of phone where this happens. We're going to put a fix in place, but in the meantime, let's make sure first line support knows about it. Let's make sure second line support knows about it, so they can flag that as a known issue and there's a fix on the way. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys know what this is. I know you know the difference between first line, second line, and third line support, but I thought I'd bring this up for those of you guys who don't. For those guys who are getting new into client work, new into software development, so you know that actually exists. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful, has been helpful, has been interesting. It's much more windy up here than I thought it was going to be, so if it seems like I'm just getting blown around, I kind of am. But for those of you guys who have made it all the way to the end of the video, please hit the like button. Really appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, we would love to have you join our little group here, right? We do our live streams every Friday night at 5 p.m. UK time. We put out a couple of videos a week. We have thousands of videos out there, and we would love it if you guys would join the Overpass app. So my question to you guys is, what kind of support have you guys done in the past as software developers? Have you always done third line support? I've done first line support. And it kind of, I would say it kind of sucked, but it was like a whole different skill. I think I got better with my people skills, right? That empathy, that, when somebody calls, my app's not working, this sucks. You're like, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. And you just calm them down. I love doing that. I used to love that. I was reading all these books on NLP, and I was like trying to really just calm everybody down. All right, but what kind of levels of support have you done, and what kind of, and how do you like to do it? Anyway, that is it for today. Ooh, it's cold all of a sudden. That's it for today. I'll talk to you again next time.